कहना, गहना का कहना, गहना का कहना, गहना का कहना, कहना, गहना का कहना, का कहना, गहना, गहना का कहना, का कहना,
Hi, welcome to the Gehna Ka Kehna show. We are in Kent today and I'm here to interview author Samah, who is ready to come up with her third book, Familiar Strangers. So let's welcome her. Hi Samah.
Hi.
Welcome. How are you
Good.
this
How are you?
morning?
I'm good.
It's supposed to be a beautiful day
It is.
and
it
I'm
is.
still so wrapped up.
Yes, because you're new here and I'm not. I've been here for a few months now, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
This is a great day for me. It's not
yeah,
cold.
yeah, like for many people picnicking with us yesterday.
yes.
So tell me, first of all, about the third book, and then we'll go back a little in time. Familiar Strangers.
Okay, so the book, I wrote this book a very, very long time ago, almost four years ago.
It's
Yes.
4 years.
Yes, it's been 4 years since I wrote it, but of course, we started the publishing process only about a year ago.
Yeah.
It's a very simple story. It's about two people who live in Mumbai. It's about a husband and wife, and it's a book close to my heart because it was written at a time where I didn't have any publishing house backing
book
me
to your
up.
credit,
It was
yeah.
just something I would. It was the second manuscript I ever wrote. The first one being Not a Love Story, which I then published with Crossword, and it was just I was just carrying out a hobby writing it, and for many months after that it was in my folder, and when I reread it I didn't like it at all.
But
And
I had loved it when you'd send me the first draft.
yeah, but now I have maybe I don't know if the word is progress or not, but I have changed so much as a writer that I didn't like my first draft at all, and we've worked with Penguin we've worked really hard on refining the story and the prose and the text, and hopefully it's come out well.
Okay, so what motivated you to write this story? Are there some real life incidences or people or references?
There's no such particular thing that I can pinpoint. It's just as a writer, maybe subconsciously, even when I didn't know I was going to be a writer, I've been subconsciously collecting experiences, and somewhere down the line they've been imprinted in my mind. Maybe some incidents that I heard of or some stories that I came across, and when I write, automatically certain characteristics or certain, you don't even realize when you notice these things, but they come out in your writing. But there's no particular thing, it's just everyday life. You observe everyday life and you try to bring it out in your
True.
writing.
So tell me about the second book, Encounters of a Fat Bride.
That was my first book with Penguin, and that was the first book that made me a published author, because the book before that was self-published with Crossword, and I'm really grateful to them for that opportunity. But the first book with Penguin, Encounters of a Fat Bride, that was more of a... actually, I wrote that book after writing this, and it got picked up before that, and it's about a fat girl and her experience with arranged marriage back in India, and it's a humorous. I've tried to give it like a humorous
It
take.
was. I laughed a lot when I read it.
And yeah, it's a very simple story. Again, there's no big drama in
So was there any girl in mind at that point in time?
it. No, maybe various girls who I've seen over the years who have struggled, but there's no particular
No, a particular
yes.
person.
Yes, when there will be, that will be a biography probably.
Okay, and not a love story. Let's speak a little about that.
Let's not.
No, let's, please. It was beautiful, and I think
I would change so many things in that book if I
not at
rewrote
all.
it now.
I
but
thought it was perfect, and if I am putting it out in the universe, there should be a sequel to it, according to me.
okay,
Yeah,
but
good.
But that novel, actually, I don't. That was the first novel I wrote, and I wrote it by hand. I used to write it in my. After 12th standard, I had saved all my accounts books and stuff, which had like extra sheets, and I would write it on that, and it was more like a secret hobby because people didn't know that I was trying to write. It was just something I wrote over many, many, many months as a hobby. Again, a simple story about arranged marriage and how your mind can change after making a decision on your partner in case of an arranged marriage back in India, because that's a very popular thing. And yeah, again, it was a very simple book. There's no extra history, drama, thriller.
So of the three books, which was the most difficult to write, which was the most easiest to write, and which has been the most memorable journey? If you can choose between three kids.
I don't know, maybe because this is the closest to how I am as a Familiar Strangers is the closest to how I am as a writer now. It's really important because it's up for release. What happens is with books, once, and I think this happens with a lot of authors because I've seen it I've heard about it in a lot of interviews. Once you're done with a book, you're done with it. You can't. I don't think I've read any of my books. I'm saying as if I have any, but like none of the two books that have been published, I've not read them after publishing because
Yeah. It's
you go
like
through
something
it
that it's out
so
of your
many
system.
times that fed up is the wrong word because they are dear to me, but
but they are out of your
yeah,
system.
so
I understand that because I do it with a
As
very
of-
small article.
as of now, this is the most important book in my life because I've worked on it after doing my MA and after learning a lot of things about writing, because before this I had no professional training in it and I was writing as an amateur, and I've realized how important it is to get professional training in anything you want to do or take up seriously. And so yeah, maybe this one, but I can't choose. Not a Love Story was the first attempt and I was really proud because it was the first time I was on a bookshelf. And Encounters of a Fat Bride has its own, because that was the first thing that made me a published author, and that's the
So it is dear to you. In
yeah,
that way.
that's what paved the way for this novel, because this got picked up after that, even though I wrote this at
Much
least 2
before,
years
yeah,
before that.
Yeah.
So I can't pick, but yeah, as of now my full focus is on this one. So.
Okay. So what is the next thing that you are writing, if at all?
I'm doing a couple of things right now. I'm also writing a lot of short stories. One is going to be published in an anthology by Half Crore Publishers sometime later this year.
I don't know this.
Yes, and I also take part in a lot of writing competitions. I'm trying Write India again
Yeah.
this year, although I haven't been able to participate as much as I would have liked to. But on the horizon, there are a couple of things I'm working on, but nothing is complete yet. So I'm working on a project for my MA, for my dissertation proposal, for my big essay. It's going to be part of my next novel, but there's a lot of research that goes into that, the new novel, and there are 2-3 incomplete novels. I start a lot of stories, but it's really hard to finish them because there are so many ideas.
But then you're so young, you have a lifetime ahead of you and you can work on each topic or each idea.
Yeah, of course, but the
Slowly
whole
but
idea is
surely.
that I need to get down to doing it, and because I'm learning so much now, I tend to like something that I'm doing and then not like it, and then like it and then not like
Yeah,
it.
that
So
happens.
it's actually maybe this MA. I was happy being a bad writer. I don't know why I wanted to.
No,
become
so
a good
let's
writer.
focus a little about your masters. You're sitting in this beautiful university, and I'm fulfilling a dream of mine by being on campus. What is the journey like? Are you enjoying it?
I'm really enjoying it. It's not something I ever thought I would do, and
A
it
home
was
away from home?
Yes, it is a home away from home now, and I think I would really miss it. But there's so much I've learned about not just my subject, but about living, about life, about dependencies and independencies. It's an amazing experience, and I think embellishing my CV is just one of the plus points because I've learned so much coming here, being here. But about writing, about my masters, I think it's completely changed my mind, because if I had done probably my undergrad in writing or literature, I would have known so much more about writing. But since my background is management and business, coming here has completely changed my mind. There's so much in writing. I didn't even know I would just pick up a pen or get my laptop and write. But voices, points of view, tenses, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's
techniques.
technical, yeah.
And the kind of books I've been exposed to over here, you are compelled to go out of your comfort zone and read amazing books and do amazing stuff. I think I would have failed as a writer not that there's any chances of great success now, but I think I would have failed as a writer had I not come here. I would have missed a complete whole world, the exposure here is
So which are the writers you look up to? Who are the influencers?
I don't know. I find this question very hard to answer.
Answer?
Different phases.
Okay, some favorite writers
So
as
there
of
are-
now, current.
There are books that that I enjoy as a reader, but when you read as a writer, it really differs.
Yeah.
So as a reader, I enjoy any kind of book, any book which can get over in a few hours or in a day. I enjoy anything and everything. But I love thrillers. I love Sidney Sheldon or Agatha Christie. I really enjoyed The Girl on the Train recently. But the thing is, I don't write that kind of.
But you are good at
Stuff.
thrillers, remember?
Am I?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm saying it.
But I really admire. I've been reading a lot of new stuff. For me, it's new. For here, people have read. I read this book called "A Girl Is a Half-Formed Thing" by Emo McBride, and it's not the most enjoyable book. I'll say that, but it's this thing called stream of consciousness, where the author writes. It's like a mind dialogue that is continuously going on, and it's from the person's point of view, and it's okay, now I want to do this now, and it's half-formed thoughts, it's not complete thoughts. And to be honest, I didn't really enjoy the book, but as a writer, I'm so impressed by the technique, and she's invented her own words, her own language, and she's tried to I didn't even know stream of consciousness or stream of mind consciousness was a thing before I came here. But
Reminds me of the film Inception. No, it's not close to that.
Nothing to do with that.
Okay.
But it was really interesting. I've started reading a lot of classics now, Virginia Woolf, and
You've read Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
No, I haven't.
We need to do that.
No, maybe, but I'm reading Mrs. Dalloway now.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm just going back because my repertoire of books, I've read really rubbish books in my life. So I'm trying to build my.
But then to begin with, from a non-reader to a writer, it's quite a journey.
But that's, I mean, everybody who loves enjoying reading books, not necessarily they enjoy writing them. I mean,
Yeah.
they're totally, one is an activity, one is a career. So in fact, I prefer writing to reading, but there are some phases where I don't write at all and I love to read. So
Okay, so let's shift base to your me time. What do you like to do? I know that this is for the benefit of the camera. What do you like to do in your me time? I don't think you have too much me time here. There's so much to do.
yeah, but what happens is for me now over here, cooking my own meal is me time. I enjoy it. I put music on.
You've
and
become a very good cook.
making food, cooking, basically eating. I love these things. Exercising because I eat too much. Fitness, basically. Yoga was something I was really interested in, but coming here I've started doing a lot of other things fitness wise, so yoga's taken a backseat, but it's once a week I still try to do it. What else do I enjoy? Reading when I can, traveling, going to new places, shopping.
How was your trip to Paris
Paris was amazing.
and Amsterdam?
Amsterdam was
Tulips.
really
Which was
good.
better?
I don't know. I enjoyed. I had better weather in Paris, so maybe that gets a little bit. But Amsterdam was amazing. Totally different experiences. But I would go back to both again if I could.
Okay. So from here, what's the next step once you're done
I
with
know.
your masters?
I'm going to go back home and enjoy eating home food and
So
not
do you miss-
washing my clothes and not washing my dishes and not. Yes.
Yeah, since the time you're here, you're just washing hair, washing.
Clothes,
Dishes?
dishes, cleaning cupboards.
Yeah.
Yeah. But going back home, I don't know, probably go back to a job and get more books out. That's the plan. Better books out. Books
Okay.
that impress me more.
Okay. So do you have a message to give out to your husband who's recording this?
Hi Anush, thank you for doing this. I love you.
Oh, sweet. Any message for your mother?
Thank you for interviewing me.
What rubbish.
What else am I supposed to say?
No, but I was very touched with your comment on that. I cried and cried and cried.
I'm a nice person. What do I say?
So am I. Okay, on that note, we will say thank you, and when the book is released, we'll update you guys. Hopefully, you will
June
buy it
2018.
June, and read it. So, thank you.
Thank you. Great day.